Good evening. At this time, I'll call to order the regular scheduled board meeting for the Village of Midlothian, Wednesday, December 8th, 2021 at 7 p.m. Roll call, please. Clerk Moscow.
Trustee Caveney?
Here.
Trustee Crowley?
Here.
Trustee Hilly?
Here.
Trustee Ivan?
Here.
Trustee Johnson?
Here.
Trustee Killily?
Here.
Mayor LaRue?
Here.
You have a quorum.
Thank you. Please stand for the Pledge of Allegiance and remain standing for a moment of silence for our fallen veterans. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Thank you. At this time, I'll open the floor to public comment. Is there any public comment tonight, Jean?
Hi. Okay. The beautification committee recently did a fundraiser because we usually do the garden walk, and that hasn't happened in 2 years. So we sent out letters to businesses, and tonight I would like to read off and thank them publicly for their generous donations. Our first, I'd like to thank Representative Will Davis and Representative Bob Rita for their donation. They are going to sponsor 2 flower boxes in the village. We already have them made, so we don't have to add any to them. Rexilla Properties, which is Tiffany Plaza and the DMV Plaza. Flannery's, Halftime Lounge, Higher Ground Baptist Church, Hearthside Realty, M&M Glass, and Lily's Gambling Cafe. Thank you from the Beautification Committee. It is so overwhelming, the donations that we received from them.
Thank you. Thank you all. If you're watching or not, someone will tell you. Just unfortunately, Saturday after the parade, I was cold. I know everyone else was probably not that cold, but I was very cold, and I didn't have a microphone, so I was rushing as always, and I forgot to mention how beautiful the Village Green looked, and thank the Beautification Committee. So I think I caught everyone else, but I could see them, and everyone, you were wearing a hat and mask, and I couldn't see you. So, but beautiful job. The boxes look fantastic. I like the little glittering lights, but I understood someone else didn't.
I guess, yeah.
So, but thank you all. Anyone else? All right, I'll close the floor to public comment and move on to tonight's consent agenda. Number 1, approval of ordinance 2088 for the levying and assessment of taxes for fiscal year beginning May 1st, 2021 and ending April 30th, 2022. Number 2, approval to spend up to $750 for the Light Up Midlothian program. Number 3, approval of October 6th, 2021 committee meeting minutes. Number 4, approval of the list of bills. Is there any item any trustee would like off of tonight's consent agenda? Hearing no objection, I'm looking for a motion to approve tonight's consent agenda as read.
I'll make the motion. I'll second.
Any discussion? Roll call, please. Clerk Moscow.
Trustee Caveney?
Aye.
Trustee Crowley?
Aye.
Trustee Hilly?
Aye.
Trustee Ivan?
Aye.
Trustee Johnson?
Aye.
Trustee Killily?
Aye.
Motion carries.
Thank you, sir. Thank you all. Am I too loud, John? I feel like I'm hot mic here.
No, you're good.
Okay. Sorry. All right, move on to trustee business. Trustee Johnson.
Thank you, Mayor. Just a couple things. I would like to thank the fire department for supplying the hot chocolate and cookies for the parade. There was a long line, and the kids and the adults loved them, so thank you so much for doing that and for staffing it. I'd also like to thank Nancy Mehal for helping to organize the parade. Participants, we had a lot of different people, and thanks to the village for coming out and participating. It was great to throw candy at the kids, and I think it made their evening. Secondly, I just want to make everyone aware that I will send to the board the employee manual template that I talked about a couple of weeks ago. There are 8 sections to review, and we are going to review them at every committee meeting. With the number of sections to be reviewed, it will take us till April 6, 2022, to review all of them. I have created a spreadsheet that I will provide you. On the spreadsheet, we'll list each policy in each section. What I'm interested in knowing from you when you review these policies is whether or not you agree that the policy as written is acceptable, or do you feel it needs to be modified, or do you feel that it needs to be rejected and it's not applicable to the village? This is a lengthy process. We discussed it a couple of weeks ago, in which we want to put together the employee village manual, but at Crowley's suggestion that we go through every section. So I really need everyone to take the time to read these policies. I don't want to wordsmith it, but I want to know, are these policies something that we could live with as policies to help us and our employees know how to conduct themselves at work? And so next week, you'll get your first set of policies to review. So if you have any questions, please let me know. They'll be on the board under my business next week, so stay tuned. That's it.
Thank you, trustee. Trustee Ivan?
Thank you, Mayor. I have nothing to report today.
Thank you, sir. Trustee Hilly?
I have nothing to report today, sir.
Thank you, sir. Trustee Caveney?
Thank you, Mayor. I have nothing at this very moment to report, other than I do want to say, thank you to everyone who participated in Saturday's parade. It was really a wonderful day. I had the opportunity to go to the Santa lunch that was sponsored at the Park District, which was wonderful, and then participated in the parade and the tree lighting ceremony afterwards, and it was fabulous. It was very, very, very fun day. So thank you very much to everybody. And our rain-ready community garden trees are all lit up as well. So Midlothian's ready for Christmas.
That's it?
That's all I have.
thank you,
But I
ma'am.
do reserve the right.
Trustee Killelea?
Thank you, Mayor. The fire department has asked that we request the board's consideration authorizing the mayor to direct a letter to the Fire and Police Commission requesting notification of the next eligible full-time firefighter applicant for a conditional offer of employment. Due to the injury and disability of Engineer Kelly, the injury of firefighter Dalzell, and the uncertainty when he will return to full duty, it is in the best interest of the village to replace this position on an emergency basis as soon as possible. So I'd like to make that.
Anyone have any issues with that? Then if you'll get me the letter, I'll sign it. Perfect. That was easy. Anything else?
All right. I'd like to just give a little extra background with this letter, just for so the public knows too, and the board. I just counted the list on the board out there for firefighters for 2019. There was 22. On this list, we have 5. There is 2 of the 5 are paramedics. The other ones are not. The top paramedic on the list is presently he works for us in a part-time capacity. So we only have 2 part-timers right now, and we're going to lose one of them if we hire that person. Basically we're just trying to keep minimum manning. Basically, we're not going over the top here. We're just trying to keep minimum manning at both the fire stations. We are using overtime like it's going out of style. I believe the figure that I saw was 21 days of overtime just to keep minimum manning in those, from our firefighters. There is another firefighter who was also considering retiring in the spring. So when you look at this is just a stopgap to keep minimum manning, but you know, we may lose 2 other firefighters, one disability, one retirement, and we only have 5 on the list. So we'll have to talk about that very soon as in January, figure out what we're going to do. This is not a malady of just Midlothian. Every town seems to have that same problem, and it's sort of frightening.
So what are some of our options?
Well, you have to talk to the one who knows what we're talking about here, but I don't know, we did the list, and we got 5, so I don't know what you can do. You can exhaust the list and try again. I don't know if it's going to get anywhere.
It's a very, very serious issue, and it continues to get worse. And I believe all of the public service trades. What was the story you told me that Chicago had a test?
Yeah, for a police test, I guess they did 5,000-6,000 people and they only had 50.
Yeah, I heard that too.
It's a very serious issue. And you also told me that Posen's chief and deputy chief are running calls,
Then running calls. and stuff.
ambulance calls.
Yeah.
Wow.
So I implore everyone out there that please join the ranks of the public service and become a fireman or a police officer. And can't forget Public Works. We're going to need, as you said, Trustee Kelly, it's everywhere, and we're fighting here to find out the solutions on what's going to make it better. But when there's only 5 people testing, but going from 5,000 to 250 is just it's incredible, and they pay quite well, so it's not to pay. So I don't know, very serious issue. But okay, anything else?
That's all, Mayor.
All right, thank you, sir. Trustee Crawley.
Thank you, sir. Just a couple things. First, I'd like to start off with just a notification. I had sent an email to the board, I believe it was last night, that I received late yesterday from Proven. We were at the end of our life with our wireless access point. That's one of the things that was testing as a failure. Last week when we have Proven here, so on an emergency basis, I did notify everybody I was approving $222.76 to purchase the new Wi-Fi access point. I signed that, and hopefully we'll have that, and it's in stock, so hopefully we'll have it in a few days, and have that turned on. We also did have our IT meeting. We had Proven here. We are moving forward. I've talked to all the department heads about changing and upgrading moving over to our Office 365 products. It looks like it will be a pretty significant savings per month by switching over to some of the different options available that are now available. In the process, we also learned that our bandwidth, when we switched to AT&T, may not be sufficient, so I'm having that pricing sent to us as well. So I'm hoping that that'll offset it. I'm expecting that our AT&T bill, based on what I heard today, may increase by like $20 a month to increase the bandwidth. So I will keep everybody posted on that. We also have a new police officer that's in the works, going through the background and final stages of testing. I will be bringing that to the board hopefully next week for approval at our following board meeting and swearing in. We were, in addition to all the problems that I know the police department and fire department are having with recruiting, there is also a shortage of spaces in the academies. So Chief Delaney was able to secure one training spot for the January class, which means we will need to approve him at the next board meeting. So I'll get that information to you guys. It will be through the Police and Fire Commission. I'll get that to you guys as soon as possible, as soon as the final steps of the investigation wraps up, so that we can get him into that spot. Also, the toy drive, the CPC and Midlothian Police toy drive is winding up. We've had so many generous donations and people sponsoring our Secret Santa this year. As of right now, it stands that we will sponsor 26 Midlothian children and still have enough toys to donate to our local churches to assist them. So we're really excited about that. There is still a few more days to donate. If anybody wants to donate, please see the CPC or Police Department Facebook pages. And I think that's all. Oh, one last thing. We did have a meeting this evening, before this meeting, regarding the LPRs, the license plate readers that I spoke about a few weeks ago, and I will be bringing that proposal to the board over the next couple weeks. I did learn some interesting things about funding and things like that that I think will be of use to us. So,
What's an LPR?
license plate readers, I talked about it a few months ago. So I'll be bringing all that to the board over the next couple weeks. And that's all I have.
Trustee.
Would you like to?
Oh, sorry. I forgot that was under my business. Also, we have Attorney Valadez made the modifications to the Community Involvement Committee ordinance. Did anybody have any corrections or changes other than what was made?
I just got one question about the 232 appointment section, about where the trustee is designated to oversee the subject. What does that entitle? I mean, what does that mean, I guess?
That was intended, so if the committee is related to a department of the village, we felt that it would be appropriate that that trustee, who's the liaison with the village board, would be that trustee designated, so we wouldn't have cross trustees for the liaison as well as the village board.
Oh, so that relates then to whatever department
Whatever
they're related to?
Right, correct.
Okay.
The committee is.
That was my only question.
Anyone else? Please make the motion.
In that case, I'd like to make a motion.
And I'll second.
Any other discussion? Then roll call, please. Clerk Moscow.
Trustee Crowley.
Aye.
Trustee Caveney.
Aye.
Trustee Hilly.
Aye.
Trustee Ivan.
Aye.
Trustee Johnson.
Aye.
Trustee Killily.
Aye.
Motion carries.
And I think that's all I have this evening, sir.
Fantastic. Took us 6 months, but I got there. So then every trustee, I'll be looking for your recommendations for appointed members of the committees that you oversee. If there's anything that is out there that is not under a trustee at this time, then we'll work through that as well. But please send me your recommendations for your committees.
And then the only thing I had is, Nick, you'll send the economic development one?
Yes.
Okay. That's all I have then.
Thank you, ma'am. Moving on to department head, Chief Hotwagner.
I have nothing to say, sir.
Thank you, sir. Chief Delaney.
Just one thing, sir. Today about 1 o'clock, we got a call for a vehicle pedestrian accident at the Secretary of State parking lot. Through the investigation, we learned the driver had a medical event, and during his medical event, he had a few parked cars, and unfortunately hit 2 elderly pedestrians. And then he eventually came to rest once he struck the building. It was a pretty chaotic event. We had 3 individuals that were critical. And I just want to thank the officers, the fire department, and all the civilians that helped render aid, and then send out prayers to the victims and their families. And that's all I have to say.
Thank you, sir. Yes, a very, very tragic accident, and definitely our hearts and thoughts and prayers go out to the individuals and the families. Thank you, sir. Superintendent Weiner.
Nothing at this time.
Thank you, sir. Superintendent Sperry.
Nothing at this time, sir.
Thank you, sir. Treasurer Breton.
Nothing, Mr. Mayor?
Thank you, ma'am. Ms. Harris.
Nothing at this time.
Thank you, ma'am. Deputy Clerk Kolacki.
I have nothing.
Thank you, ma'am. Attorney Valadez.
Yes. Pursuant to Trustee Crowley's initiative, as well as the events that have occurred within the village at the local liquor license establishments in the village, it is my recommendation that the village board do a complete overhaul of our liquor license provisions and regulations. They were written many years ago, in which life was much simpler before the advent of multiple gunfire incidents on a regular basis in bars, not just in Midlothian, but in Oak Forest, in Tinley Park, and all across the country. It's a new phenomenon in the last few years that is any large bar if it's open long enough, is going to have multiple gunfire incidents. So pursuant to that, the village board is going to have to redo our regulations to more closely monitor and to screen individuals who get liquor licenses in the village of Midlothian. It will be up to you to review the hours. I don't know that 3 o'clock in the morning liquor license hours is the trend across the country anymore. The trend is to reduce those hours because of the inability to control the events that happen at these large clubs in the wee hours of the morning. Certainly in our village, I have not, as the prosecuting attorney for the local liquor commissioner, have not had any incidents with the small local neighborhood bars, but it's pretty obvious to me that 2 fatalities, several shootings, all within the last 12 months at the very large liquor license holders causes the board to take some sort of action. So we're putting the word out there to all of the liquor license holders that there are going to be some changes before the board in the next month or so. My recommendation is that we completely rewrite the liquor license regulations to provide more inquiry, screening, and a more substantial application process. We have one now that has been around for a very long time. It's pretty much very short, but in my opinion, having reviewed it, it does not require the requisite information that the mayor and the board needs to be able to make a good judgment on that. So hopefully within the next 60 days, we'll have before you a completely new liquor license application and regulation ordinance for you, in which you can determine what you want to do with regard to hours and security, as well as classifications. I think what needs to be done now is that we need to have a whole new classification, because obviously the restaurant and grill thing, the restaurant and bar thing that runs like a club is something that's between the seams of our current ordinances. That's all I have.
And I think just to add to that, we have started this. The police department has made some recommendations, and I think a couple of us are going to work on bringing something with recommendations to the whole village board. I know I've sent something already to the mayor and to Attorney Valadez after meeting with the police department, and it's really substantial. I mean, right now I think it's at like 30 pages, so we've really done a lot. We're going to have to, I think, keep working at it. So if anybody, if any of you have suggestions, like I said, we have a lot of suggestions in there. We've looked at a lot of different ordinances from different villages. But if anybody has any suggestions that they think of right off the top of their head, certainly email me, and I will add it to our discussion to bring to everyone here.
And I would also just say that I left out the fees. The fees also is something that the village board should look at. The village has paid over the last 2 years tens of thousands of dollars when they talk about police time, fire time, ambulance time, legal time, insurance deductibles for activities that happen in bars.
That's it? Okay. Thank you, sir. Under my business, I want to remind everyone that the Midlothian Public Library's grand reopening is this Saturday, December 11th at 11. Trustee Ivan and I took a tour today. The place looks wonderful, and hopefully y'all can join us. One other item, Maria, did I give you that packet from CETA, or did I leave it on my desk in there? Okay, that's fine. So I know we put out on our social media and our website about the CETA program for help water payment assistance. And apparently there's an agreement that we have to sign with CETA to make that happen. So they didn't say that, did they?
Not that I heard.
So I was just looking through it. The village's responsibility seems a little extensive, but I don't. Maybe it's not. I'll talk to Ms. Harris and see if she thinks that it's mostly providing information regarding residents' invoices, water bills, stuff like that. So I'll let you look it over, and if it's agreeable, then I'll put it on the agenda for approval next week. It's just an agreement between CETA and us to work with them, basically to provide assistance to residents that need help with water. And that's all I have. Clerk Moskal.
I have nothing tonight, sir.
Thank you, sir. Seeing there's no further business coming before the board, I'm looking for a motion to adjourn.
I'll make the motion.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
All opposed? Meeting adjourned. Thank you all.